go into our hybrid meeting on last weekend. I do deeply apologize that I was not able to attend, but at the last minute, we put together a little graduation ceremony or a graduation, a little party for one of my godsons. And I just really, that's a once in a lifetime thing to graduate from high school. So I really did not want to miss that. So thank you very much. And hopefully I'll be there next month and get to see you all. Wes, you especially, special thanks to you, Wes, for driving about 2 hours to get here. So big thanks to you. Okay, Maurice, did you?
It was an hour from the doctor's office, so it was okay. 2 hours back.
Gotcha. Maurice, were you able to go? Did we talk about last meeting our voting for our officers and the open house for next month? Did we get a chance to talk about that stuff? That's the only club business I really have.
The upcoming elections.
Right.
Received no nominations yet.
Okay.
And the open house, I think, didn't Crystal send a, well, at least on my outlet.
Hers was canceled, I thought.
Yeah, canceled, yeah.
No, I was meaning for us, since we're going to be hybrid next month on the 2nd.
Oh, that's going to be open house too?
No, I was saying for us, just a little way to drum up some,
I mean, I'm talking about our next hybrid meeting. You want that to be like an open house?
Well, that's what I was thinking, that we could just, post it on.
All right.
Post it on Facebook.
I mean, we can advertise it. Yeah.
Right. Do a little advertising, a little word of mouth, and see if we can get. How big was the room, guys? How big was it, Maurice?
Oh, it's plenty big.
Okay, good. So since they said we were okay with having refreshments, and I had already talked to him about doing an open house, so I was just thinking maybe we can pass out some flyers to the people in the library, or I can get the flyers that Wes had sent us, and I'll take some to the library and see if they
post on a bulletin board too.
Right. See if the library, yes, post them out there. And I was going to take some to work, and let's just see if we can get, I mean, June is right here upon us, so we need to try to hurry up and get those last few little people to come and join. So we'll see how it goes. So I think that's a good idea. And then we can all just do some refreshments or what have you. We can talk about that a little bit more later. And also, guys, we really do have to, I see your hand, Wes, I'll come right back to you. We really do have to nominate for our next office. I know we are being recorded, but I do want to just, I'm not in a position to take an office this upcoming year. I just have so much going on. I definitely will continue to be a part of Toastmasters, so I will be here, a faithful member. But unless it's absolutely mandatory, I know that I don't want to take an office, so I'm going to step down from that. And Wes, I see your hand is raised.
Yeah, so when is the date of the next hybrid meeting?
The second Monday in June and the second Monday in July. The second Monday at 6:45. The date is, I will get it for you. Okay, the first Monday is the 6th. The second Monday is the 13th. June the 13th. And then July the 4th.
That's the date. That's the date of the
Oh, the hybrid meeting, sure is.
Coach training session.
Oh. What time is that?
Same time.
Okay, well then you go to coach training. We'll catch you on the next one, because we sure can't reschedule with the library on short notice. I know. So we're gonna be there also in July. July will be the 11th. July the 11th.
I'll be on time.
Well, we'll catch you in August. Anybody else has any club business or anything they want to bring to the floor? Okay, we're going to go with our, did I miss anyone? Okay, speak up if I did. Oh, Carrie, yeah, see, I have to keep scrolling up and down. Go ahead, Carrie.
First of all, Woody, the Toastmaster International website is still unavailable. Entire website is unavailable right now. I really don't know what's going on. And then, so you have either I mean, this is my idea. If you just trust me, and as soon as the website come back, I'll take care of it and I'll reimburse or give you credit toward the next renew payment.
Okay.
Or if you wanna whatever you
I'll just
and I
wait to
don't
hear
think
from
it's
you.
come back sometime this month, probably next month. I don't really. It doesn't say that any certain date that website will be back.
Okay, I'm okay with it. I'll just wait to hear from you.
Okay, yeah, as soon as the website is available, I'll take care of it and I'll let you know that. So, but just the, meanwhile, you cannot start the pathway. That's the only probably things you are inconvenient for you, but other than that, nothing really different. But so that's I like to make sure that.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And the second, good. The second thing is, Wes, did you receive the evaluation from me? I emailed you.
I did. Thank you. Thank you.
You got it? Okay. That's all. Thanks.
I was going to say, even though you can't officially start a pathway, you can always do your official icebreaker, and that's a 5 to 7 minute. Isn't it 5 to 7 or is it 4? I think mine was 5 to 7.
4 to 6.
4 to 6. Okay.
4 to 6.
Okay.
Okay. So you can, whenever you're ready, you can prepare your icebreaker, and we can still give you an official evaluation because we have those blank icebreaker evaluation forms.
Okay.
And then as soon as you pick your path, each path starts out, correct me if I'm wrong, with an icebreaker anyway.
Okay. No,
Correct.
okay. How do you get to these paths? I mean, where do you see these paths?
It will be on the Toastmaster International website. But since you can't get on there, you can't access it right now, then that's what I was just saying, you can still do your toast. You can still start doing some of the first speech. At least you can
Okay.
start go ahead and get credit
All
for
right.
your first speech.
Gotcha.
I think Donovan had his hand in
Have you
West.
choose the first thing is icebreaker. So
Right.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wes, your hand was up.
Yeah, I sent Woody some information on pathways where he could find out some information from what I sent him.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, check your
I'll look at my email.
Very good. Let's go ahead and get our pledge, guys, if you would, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you all very much. I don't think I have any other business. Does anyone else have anything else? Carrie, I saw your hand. If you do, just speak up because I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'll be able to see everyone in just a second. Okay. All right, then we will move into the introduction of our Toastmaster. And this evening, our Toastmaster will be none other than Miss Kaori, if we say her name properly. Isn't that right, how you say it properly? And we will please come on up, Miss Kaori, to the lectern and take it away.
good evening, everyone. I am your Toastmaster tonight. And let's start with, let me pull up my Toastmaster cheat. Just 30 seconds.
We're going to just go over the roles. That's
Yes,
pretty much
but
it.
I haven't.
Okay. Yes, take your time.
Okay, I got it. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm your Toastmaster tonight. And let's start with the first portion of this meeting, introduction. You explain your role. Do we already, I believe we already have a roles tonight. So let's start with timer. Where's the timer?
I'm the timer.
Okay,
The role of the
your
timer
role.
is to basically time the length of the prepared speeches as well as the table topics and then the evaluations. And just to report on that during the evaluation portion of the meeting. That's the whole thing.
Thank you, Woody. Let's move on to Grammarian. And please tell us your role as a grammarian, including today's word.
I think the grammarian, yeah, that's me. Okay, good evening, everyone. Tonight I have a couple of roles, and one of them is the grammarian and also the word of the day and the all counter. My first role as the grammarian is I will simply listen to the speeches, whether they are prepared speeches, table topic speeches, pocket speeches, and the evaluation, and I will listen for any misuse of the English language. Our word of the day is swimmingly. The definition is without difficulty, with great success, effortlessly. She passed the exam swimmingly. My final position or my role for this evening is that of the all counter. I will again listen to those same speeches, whether they're prepared, pocket, table topics, and the evaluation, and listen for those filler words, I am, so's, us, you knows, likes, things of that nature. I will give my report at the end during the evaluation portion of the meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Olivia. Who is a table topic master tonight?
I am.
Table topics is Wes.
Wes, please tell us your role.
In table topics, I will be asking prepared questions, impromptu questions. Well, the questions are not impromptu, but they're prepared. But I'll be asking certain Toastmasters to respond to certain questions. There's a chance to respond in an impromptu fashion, to think and speak on one's feet, so to speak. It's one of the more delightful elements of Toastmasters, especially once you get the hang of it. So that is what I'll be doing as Topics Master.
Thank you, Wes. Next, General Evaluator, I believe Donovan. Please.
Yes, I am the general evaluator for this evening. Basically, my role is to summarize how the meeting went. I would say say about the recess, if we have any recess, and then I'll just talk about how the meeting went as a whole, and then I'll call upon my evaluation team, which the timer, the all counter, and the grammarian, and the speech and the full speech evaluator as well. Thank you, and back to you, Mrs.
Right.
Toastmaster.
Thank you, Donovan. Let's start the first portion of this meeting, which is prepared speech. We have a one prepared speech tonight, which is Wes. And I don't know yet.
Isn't Maurice speaking as well? Does he have an evaluator?
Oh yeah, we sure do have Maurice speaking tonight.
So we have two prepared speech. Prepared speeches.
Looks like it.
Good. That's good. And first is Wes or Maurice?
Wes is first, and then Maurice.
Okay. Also, that means we have two evaluators. Who's the two
Right,
evaluators? Can you please tell me your role?
I'm evaluating Wes.
Okay.
Josh, I think I was wondering, could you do Maurice's evaluation? He put it in the chat. I was wondering why Maurice put that in there. I overlooked that. Wes, I'm sorry. Josh, would you be able to do Maurice's evaluation?
Oh, where is the the evaluation form?
It's in the chat. Check in the chat and see if you see it. Let me know.
Now I see your notes, but that's it.
Okay, Maurice, can you read?
I mean, I'll be glad to do it.
Okay, he can send it again right quick.
Okay.
Okay. So we have two evaluators. Now, so let's start the first portion of this meeting swimmingly. First speaker is Wes.
I'm Toastmaster, Toastmasters and guests. To speak on mentoring, the value of mentorship. According to Toastmasters, a mentor is one who encourages, guides, and empowers a protege. Throughout a life, a protege or one who's being mentored, a mentee, can have a variety of mentors. And every one of them are to the protege's or mentee's benefit. In previous meetings, I've given presentations and effective coaching, and also leadership development, which I listed my father as a mentor, and a certain instructor as a mentor, and I'm giving a skydiving coach as a mentor. Back in the 1990s, early 1990s, I would be my first high altitude jump. And we're taught, as I said before, to arch so that your back is toward the sky. So that when you open up, you don't get tangled up in your lines. So I was arching like a champ, but I was spinning like a top. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. But finally, I got stable enough where I deployed my chute and came down. But the thing is, I was pretty low by the time my shield opened up, and I was coming down at a high rate of fairly fast rate of speed, that my reserve opened up as well. So I immediately cut loose the main chute and came down on the reserve. I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So back at the drop zone, I had a talk with the drop zone owner. He says, you know, I think the problem could be with the legs. So he put me in touch with a skydiving coach, Mike Matthews, AKA Mr. Mike. This guy was fantastic. He became a coach as opposed to a mentor because he not only corrected that situation, but he helped me with a variety of situations in skydiving. First thing we did is he put me down on this little rolling pad. It kind of looked like a mechanic's device for changing oil, but it's a skydiving tool that you lie down flat on your stomach and go into an arch. I said, okay, Wes, click your heels together. So I did that several times, and I said, I'll relax, come all the way to the ground, then go back in an arch, click your heels together. So I did that and developed a muscle memory, so I knew where my heels were. I clicked my heels. If you click your heels, your feet are in the same plane. One's not higher than the other, so you don't go into a spin. So we made a jump, and I did that method. I clicked my heels together. The problem I had stopped cold. I never had that problem again. It was stable every time. But as I was saying, Mike was a mentor in that he helped me with a number of issues. He was helping me giving me tips on progressing forward and coming to the skydiver, progressing backward if you want to back away from a skydiver. And you don't grab, because if you grab for the hold to grab onto the skydiver, do relative work, that throws your stability off, and your rate of fall is different. So you have to very gently approach the skydiver before you dock. So he taught me a number of things. And also, an important element he showed me is that when you leave a plane, if you're the last to leave a plane and you have to get to the drop zone in a hurry, you put your body in an aerodynamic position. You're actually flying. You're going down, but you're going down in a kind of horizontal manner, so that you can pick up speed and approach the drop zone very quickly. But you always have to be careful that you're looking down. You don't want to. If you see a person behind you below you going like this, you do not want to go over that person because that person is ready to pull. And if he pulls, he comes up and you collide. So little tips like that. But he taught me a full range of elements in skydiving. He was a first-rate mentor. So I learned from him a great deal. Not only that, but sometime it might have been I was in grad school. I might have had a project to do. I might have had or maybe I was just taking a class, but it was prior to grad school. But it might have been a class, it might have been a Toastmasters project, but I had to interview a number of persons to find out what their greatest accomplishments were. So sometime later, I asked Mike, what is your greatest accomplishment? What are you most proud of, Mike? You know what his answer was? What do you suppose it was? Skydiver of the Year, Coach of the Year, first in accuracy. He said, Wes, earning my PhD in physical chemistry. Blew my mind. So I had the privilege of having a first-rate skydiving mentor. And I've learned the value of mentorship through other mentors, not necessarily associated with Toastmasters, but I know enough to know the value of mentors to proteges, or however you want to say, mentees. Because if you have a good mentor, you could progress very swimmingly in whatever the subject you're being mentored on. So mentorship has great value in Toastmasters. There's an old saying that in order to keep something, you have to learn to give it away. So in order to become a good Toastmaster and develop speaking skills, leadership skills, you share that with others to empower them and thereby empower your own self as well. So indeed, there's great value in mentorship. Madam Contest Chair, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Wes. You often share your experience of skydiving, and this is probably at least third time about your experience skydiving. But mentorship and skydiving, that's a really good idea, because skydiving is not just a sport, but also mentor. That's also important. It's not just the exercise, walking outside. It's much more than that. Definitely mentorship. That's a great idea to talk about the mentor using your experience with skydiving. Yes, thank you so much. That's great. So next we have a second speaker tonight. Yay, Maurice.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, my speech tonight is about last week's hybrid meeting. And during this speech, first I'll talk about the organization of the hybrid meeting and what led up to the hybrid meeting and how that process went. Second, I will talk about the actual hybrid meeting, getting to the West Library, setting up, and then having the meeting, and then breaking down and being the library. Then next, I'll talk about some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that were made. And then lastly, tips for a better hybrid meeting next time and each subsequent time after that. First, the organization of the first hybrid meeting was 2 years, more than 2 years, a little more than 2 years in the making. And I remember during the first months of COVID, first month or two, there were visitors or potential visitors who still were demanding in-person meetings. I want to meet in person. Well, due to COVID, we're virtual. Sorry. But as time went by, the last president of the club, Luke Green, he spearheaded trying to secure an area for a hybrid meeting. I think one of the places was the Government Street Baptist Church. And then I had some suggestions and other people had suggestions. But at that time, that was in the midst of COVID. And so many times it fell through. But finally this year, we had our current president, Olivia, to finally secure a place. And she called many places, but we finally secured the West Mobile Library. And at the moment, we'll have at least one hybrid meeting per month, which is good for now. But again, the circumstances leading up to it was the COVID outbreak more than 2 years ago. Now for the actual meeting, we had 4 people who attended on site and plus those who attended virtually. And Wes, he brought some snacks and drinks, which was good. And we had one visitor who tuned in virtually from Japan. Her name was Masayo. And she enjoyed the meeting. And I also brought the whole container with the lectern and the flags and the timer and all the equipment. But when I got to the conference room, I saw that we already had a lectern, we already had flags, we had Wi-Fi. So for the subsequent hybrid meeting, I don't have to bring that whole container with me. I could just bring the timer, I could bring the streaming laptop. And as for the meeting itself, we had to fill roles. We spent 5 to 10 minutes filling roles. So the meeting actually got started maybe 6:55-ish or 7 o'clock. But once it got started, we really got moving into the different portions of the meeting. And Wes, he had his speech, and then we had the table topics, and then we had the evaluation. And things went more swimmingly than at the beginning of the meeting. Now, some of the mistakes, at least in my opinion, that were made, one of the mistakes that was made was I didn't have the streaming camera close enough to the lectern, which I did end up moving it later on in the meeting. And another mistake that was made, well, not a mistake, is maybe this will be a tip for each subsequent hybrid meeting. It's okay to bring your own laptop, but I would encourage you to mute your microphone and mute your speaker because we had a lot of feedback. I don't know if the virtual people heard it, but the people who were on site heard the constant feedback. And another tip would be to have all the roles filled on time. because we really don't have an hour at the virtual meeting, because around 7:40-ish or 7:45-ish, the security guard comes in. He wants us to pack our stuff and get out. And that's what happened last week. And another tip would be not only for the prepared speech, but for the table topics, to have everyone come to the lectern, even if you have your own laptop with you on site. So those are some of the tips that will make each subsequent hybrid meeting move swimmingly. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maurice. It's so nice to talk about the last meeting. That was the first hybrid meeting, and things might not go as swimmingly as we expected, because that was just the first time, and so we need to learn it. And thank you. And it's based on your speech, we should learn and improve for next time. Thank you. It was really, personally, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it in person. Again, thank you so much, Maurice. So let's go to the next portion of this meeting, table topic, which is most exciting part of meeting, maybe exciting part of this meeting. And our table topic master is Wes.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As your club coach, I'm interested in the health of our club. And that is predominantly a reflection of what the club members are getting out of their membership. Therefore, I've chosen to ask a few questions along those lines. The first question I'd like to ask is of Josh. Josh, what attracted you to Hilltoppers Toastmasters?
Well, I had heard some really great things about Hilltoppers from some coworkers, and I was heavily focused on a place where I could use a virtual platform. Luckily, this chapter allows that and does a fantastic job with it. A tremendous job with the virtual platform. Very open and, inviting. I emailed Olivia and Maurice. They were very welcoming. They encouraged me, and I think I've missed a couple of meetings, but I've been to just about every meeting since.
Thank you. Next question is for Woody. Woody, do you feel that you're getting what you need as a member of Hilltoppers Toastmasters?
Yes, sure. I started out in Hilltoppers many years ago when I had to do some speaking roles at work, and I was trying to find an avenue where I could practice and become, less fearful of public speaking. That's been a long time ago, and I got up to give my first speech. I guess it was my icebreaker years ago, and I was very nervous, but I had an evaluator who was very generous, and she encouraged me and told me that I had done a pretty good job, and it inspired me to continue and become a better speaker, week after week after week. And after a number of months, I discovered that, getting up in front of a crowd is not as bad as you think. My worst habit was trying to rush through speeches. And I finally learned that you have to slow. If you're nervous, the best thing to do is actually slow down. So I learned a lot from my early days in Hilltoppers, and I enjoyed, of course, the meetings. I've met a lot of nice people. We've had a lot of good speakers in Hilltoppers over the years. We've had some speakers who've won awards, won contests, and the camaraderie and the friendship has been great. And this group, it appears to be no different than the ones in the past. Got some good people, and we all want to get together, and everybody's friendly, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, absolutely, I am swimmingly getting everything I need to get from this group, and I appreciate everyone's participation. And thank you.
Thank you, Woody. Donovan, as Hilltoppers member, is there anything that you feel that you're missing from your membership in Hilltoppers Toastmasters?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored guest and members. My question that I was posed, can you repeat the question, Russ?
Sure. As Hilltoppers member, is there anything that you feel that you are that is missing from your membership in Hilltoppers Toastmasters?
Thank you. Mostly, I would say that I do not feel like I'm not forgetting anything. So I feel that this club has been really helpful and helped me to speak clearly and professionally. By being involved with this club, I've been under multiple models. Like the beginning would be Luke, and then now with Olivia, Maurice, Wes, and David, all of y'all has been really bigger role models than I really give y'all most credit for. Because I know at first I was nervous and scared, but Luke kind of helped me to, Luke and some of y'all helped me to feel that I'm comfortable and a way that I can express myself without being judged based off of who I am. And it also helps me through life to be able to enunciate better and speak much more clearly. Thank you, and I want to relinquish the lectern back to the Toastmaster, the Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Donovan. Just have two more. Olivia, if you were inviting someone interested in joining a Toastmasters club to be a guest at our club, what would you tell them specifically about our club so that person would pay us a visit?
Give me that first portion of the question again. You said they're already a Toastmaster, or you said there's someone that's visiting?
If you were inviting someone who is interested in joining a Toastmasters club to be a guest at our club, what would you tell them specifically about our club so that that person would pay us a visit?
Okay, my answer to that question, Wes and and fellow Toastmasters, is the first thing I would talk about is just the fact that we meet in the evenings or the afternoons. When I first began my search looking for a place where I could practice my public speaking and leadership skills, I was looking for one that worked around my schedule. And most people, the majority of people, work a 9-to-5 type job. So this one really made it was an opportunity for me to not have to miss any work to be a part of the organization. Secondly, I would just say it is the friendly face and the family oriented, I guess, environment that you will experience when you come to Hilltopper Toastmasters. From day one, I was met with the most friendliest faces. Everyone was loving and warm and inviting. And it was real simple that everyone in the room had sort of the same agenda. We all had one common goal. And that's awesome to be around like-minded people. So if you're already looking for a place to enhance your public speaking skills, maybe to be a better leader, I don't know, maybe even for an organization as your company or something that is already requiring you to be able to use these skills in a professional manner, then Hilltopper Toastmaster is definitely the place. And I just would recommend it to anyone. Thank you, Wes.
Yes. There's one final question. Our club strives to help its members develop communication and leadership skills in an atmosphere of enjoyment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the enjoyment factor in our meetings? Carrie?
Good evening, everyone. 1 to 10 scale, 1 to 5 scale.
1 to 10 scale.
1 to 10 scale. 1 to 10 scale, enjoyable, I will say 8. There are 2 reasons. First reason is that, of course, I really enjoy it. I love to speak. I love to express myself. That's why I always try to compete the contestant. I love to get attention from all of you. I really enjoy. That's why I give you 9. My second reason why it's not 10, because I have to commit some level. That's a little bit stress. And we need the stress to do something. It's good stress, I would say. But because of anyway, stress is stress. That's why it's not the 10. I reduced the 1 point. So in conclusion, I give you 9 out of 10 for enjoy or fun level of participating in the Toastmaster meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate your response, Carrie. Hilltoppers prides itself as a fun club. It's a swimmingly fun club, I would say. For it has been said by distinguished Toastmaster Bram Mimon, District 86 Club Growth Director and past Coach of the Year, that members who laugh together stay together. My job as your club coach is to help keep us as a club happy and healthy. So I'm working to do my job. I'm Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Wes. That was awesome.
Okay, thank you, Wes. This is all the table topics. That's a very good question to make us rethink about what Toastmasters are for us. Let's move on to the last portion of this meeting, which is evaluation. Tonight, general evaluator is Donovan.
Thank you, Carrie. Mostly, I thought that the meeting went swimmingly well. So I've calculated that we had a 3-minute recess, and all the speakers was very influential and very inspiring as well, in a way. And I would like to go ahead and call upon my evaluation team. The first evaluator I would like to call up is David Roberts. Would you be willing to report on Wes's speech, please?
Sure. Thank you, Donovan. Good evening, everyone. I am the evaluator for Mr. Wes Hillstrom's speech this evening, and his speech was on mentoring. The speech title is Mentoring, an Important Element in Toastmasters. And on the purpose statements, it says the purpose of this speech is for the mentor to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. And I thought Wes accomplished that very well. under the general comments, I put that he excelled at adhering to the project purpose and giving a great personal example of being a protege. And using something like skydiving as an experience is a great idea, something that's interesting and where you definitely need a mentor because you don't want to have a parachute that doesn't open. So you need someone that knows what they're doing to guide you through it. And so I thought you did a wonderful job with that. As far as things to work on under the general comments, I said you may want to work on vocal variety some. That's something I think all of us seem to struggle with, myself as well. But like a subject like skydiving can be such an enthusiastic thing, is something that you could do. But I have that. To challenge yourself, I had try showing maybe some more emotions of as far as when you're talking about those sort of things and vulnerability as part of the vocal variety work. But overall, it was a really wonderful speech and really on topic and something that we always need to hear about. I'll quickly go over the criteria. I had clarity of 4. You had good clarity and easy to understand on Zoom. That's always important. A 3 for vocal variety. I mean, you had some vocal variety, but like I say, it's something we could all work on. Good eye contact out of 4 and pretty good use of gestures. Gestures are something I'm not doing at the moment, but it's always good to use gestures. And you were very aware of your audience. I had a 5 for that. Comfort level of 5. And once again, it was the interest, engaged audience with interesting and well constructed content, a 4 for that, and a 5 for the topic, sharing personal experience as a protege, because you definitely was dead on that. So thank you, Wes, for another great speech and for being part of our club. And back to you, Donovan, our general evaluator.
Thank you, David. Now went evaluation went swimmingly well. The next evaluator I would like to call upon is Josh. Will you please be able to evaluate Maurice's?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Donovan. Good evening, everybody. Maurice Heidelberg did a speech on last week's hybrid meeting. It was roughly 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Great eye contact, great flow, gave a thorough outline of the subject, which is something I really appreciate. Went over the organization of the meeting and the processes involved on having a hybrid meeting. Luckily, some equipment was already there, and it will allow you not to have to bring so much stuff next time. Excellent job using the word of the day, acknowledge mistakes and lessons learned, and also brought to everybody's attention how important it is to have roles filled on time, ahead of schedule. Clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, and gestures, I gave all of 4. Comfort of 5 and awareness of 5. Excellent job all around. Back to you, Donovan.
Thank you, Josh. Now, your evaluation went swimmingly well as well. The next evaluator I would like to call upon is the timer. Woody, would you please be able to present your evaluation, please?
Speech, yes, and it timed out at 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Maurice's speech was 6 minutes and 51 seconds. Josh's table topic was 47 seconds. Woody's topic was 1 minute 56 seconds. Donovan's table topic was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Olivia's table topic was 1 minute 40 seconds. Carrie's table topic was 54 seconds. David's evaluation of Wes was 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Josh's evaluation of Maurice was 1 minute and 4 seconds. And that's your time.
Thank you, Woody. That went good. The next evaluator I would like to call upon will be the all counter and the grammarian. it's up to you to do either one first. Olivia,
Okay.
like,
Oops, sorry. Good evening, everyone. My position as all counter and misuse of the English language, the only person that I heard say the word all was myself. But I tell you, I was so engaged in listening to the questions were phenomenal with, and then everyone's responses were just so endearing. I almost got a little teary-eyed in one of them, just beautiful. So I did not have any misuse of the English language. And again, the only all that I heard was the one that I gave during my table topics speech. Now, as far as the use of the word of the day, I don't know. I think I was going to lose my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness, someone said it again and again and again. I'm so excited. So that was good. But I think I missed up on some of my count as well. So please correct me. Wes, I know I heard it from you at least once. Tell me if it was more. Maurice, did you say it once or twice?
At least twice. I don't know
At
how.
least twice. That's what I thought. Okay. Woody, I have you as using it twice. Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Carrie, yours was twice. Josh, I have you down for once. Donovan, yours was twice. Did I miss anybody, or I don't want to? I'm telling you, I was so excited. I wasn't focusing on my task. This was a swimmingly experience with the use of the word of the day, the responses to the questions, the speeches were phenomenal by Wes and Maurice. And that's it for my evaluation on all counter and misuse of the English language. And Grammarian's report back to you. I'm sorry, the report of the word of the day. Back to you, General Evaluator Donovan.
thank you, Olivia. All of this went well. The meeting of whole went well. Right now it's 7:41, so we're doing great time. I just want to go ahead and relinquish the lectern back to the Madam Toastmaster. Terry?
Thank you, Donovan. Do we have an education overview tonight?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Right, we have a great meeting. The meeting went swimmingly. Back to our president of Hilltoppers Club, Olivia, please.
All right. Okay, guys, we have about 3 or 4 minutes, and I will not be long, but I just must point out a few things. Number one, Wes, I really enjoyed your speech, and I agree with Carrie. You've talked about skydiving more than one time, so that tells me that there is a passion of yours, number one. And it's great when you hear someone talk about their passion, and you can see it when someone is speaking about something that they are adamant or there's something that's dear to their heart, because you don't have to use any notes. You know just what you want to say, and you can practice maybe on how to convey it to others, but you already know what's in your heart. So I just recommend, or I would advise anyone that's looking to do a speech, unless someone specifically gives you a topic and you have the opportunity to pick your own topic, whether it be professionally, socially, what have you, speak from the heart. It always shows up. And when the heart smiles, when your heart is smiling, the audience will see it. So thank you very much for that. Maurice, I didn't know what to expect when you were getting ready to do your speech, but I was like, oh my goodness, that was so informative. I didn't get a chance to speak to you, but I was going to ask, hey, how did the meeting go? And you answered every question I had, how big the room was, what it was like, you know, how rushed was it? Because I knew we only had a 15-minute window, and Mr. Ritchie told me that it was going to be, we were going to be pressed for time to get out of the meeting room and out of the building. So I noticed that you gave an outline of the speech, what it was going to be about, and that was perfect. We knew just what to expect all the way through, and I really, really appreciate that. That was awesome. You offered up some great tips, those some that I wrote down about everyone going to the lectern. We know better. When you're doing your speech, you can get your tail up to that lectern. Now that's my last official fussing that I'm gonna do. But get to the lectern, that's what we do. So thank you for reminding us that, Maurice. Yes, turn your volume off and be ready. If we are not as prepared as we could be virtually, I think it is of the utmost importance, and we're doing ourselves a disjustice when we are not ready, when we're at these hybrid meetings. 2 years of not having a meeting, we should all be kind of longing for it and excited about it. And this is an opportunity to just remind us that we should not take things for granted. Life is so short and we never know. We got monkeypox already surfacing. I'm sure you guys have heard about that. So let's not take these small things for granted. Let's be ready. Let's know what it is our roles are. Let's pick them out. You got 6 days to pick out your role. Pick out your role, be on time, and let's be ready. Please, let's make this hybrid meeting as much fun as possible. Keep in mind, our next one is going to be open house. So more to come on that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Josh, you mentioned that you enjoyed the platform. You were excited about it being virtual. So kudos to that. I am so excited that, because like Maurice said, some people really were looking for a in-person meeting, even in the midst of COVID. So to hear someone saying, hey, this was awesome, this is what I was looking for, that was great. You said it was open and inviting. And one thing that Josh said that I wanted to make sure all of us fellow Toastmasters keep in mind was that he heard about Hilltoppers word of mouth.
Yes.
So each one can still reach one. All you got to do is just, you see people that seem to have some of those Toastmaster type skills or desires in them, just mention it to them. Sometimes it might even be a good icebreaker for you to do some some networking. So take advantage of that. Woody, you said it was transparent. You were transparent when you said one of your weaknesses was rushing through your speeches. And that's what it's all about, guys. Just sometimes we have to be transparent so others can learn from that. And maybe you didn't realize that you rushed through your speeches, like how I'm rushing to get this all out because our time is up. But that transparency is what we need. We are all a family. So we all have to stick together and help each other out. And Woody was transparent enough to say, hey, this was my weakness and this is why I chose Toastmaster. You talked about the camaraderie and the friendship. Donovan, I really, really enjoyed your response when you said that it's helped you to speak clearly and professionally. I tell you, from the first day I met you, I thought you were very professional and clear. So I didn't think you had anything that you needed to work on, but I like the fact that you said, hey, this is what my weaknesses were, and this is how Toastmasters has been a help to me. Accolades that you gave to Luke was beautiful. I'm actually, if you don't mind, I'm going to text him and told him that you mentioned him tonight in the meeting, because it does make people feel good to be recognized and to say that, hey, you made a difference in my life. And obviously he made a difference in yours. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share that with him. And then you used the word enunciation. When I was growing up, that was one of the words that I always wanted to say, pronunciation. And I remember my dad used to spank me on the hand and like, no, this is when you say pronounce, and this is when you say the word enunciation. So for you to know it, Donovan, and use it so well at your age, I was like, oh man, I think I was probably in my 20s before I figured out how to use the word properly. So tonight was just one of the most swimmingly meetings that I have seen in a while, and my heart is just overwhelmed. I'm just so thankful to be a part of this group, and I'm just glad that you guys are all here. Okay, the time is now 7:47, so I have taken 2 minutes of your life away that you cannot get back. So let me not take any more. Does anybody else have anything before we close out and go into our quick meeting with Wes on his committee? Oh, Wes, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Very, very briefly.
Go ahead.
Just very briefly, Maurice, you did a phenomenal job last week. I was at the last hybrid meeting. I was, it was all kinds of things going wrong, but for first run hybrid meeting, it went amazingly smooth. Very well done, Maurice. Also, I'm going to invite 2 guests that live in the Mobile area. I'm going to invite them to our next meeting. But speaking of the next meeting, is there going to be a meeting on Memorial Day? I noticed on the agenda, there was no slot for the agenda. Will we have a meeting on Memorial Day?
We never have meetings on official holidays or national holidays,
Okay,
nationally recognized holidays. So Maurice, does anyone want to have a meeting on Monday? I know I won't even be in town. And I forgot, I'm glad you mentioned that, Wes, because I truly forgot all about it. Is there anybody that's just itching to have a meeting on Memorial Day? Okay, great. We will not have one on Memorial Day. We will meet the following Monday. Which,
So-
let's see, that should take us into our virtual, it looks like. No, we will meet again on June the 6th. We do have our committee meeting this Thursday at 6 p.m. That's the 26th.
so it's okay to meet on D-Day. It's okay to meet on D-Day.
Oh. Does anybody else have anything? We're kind of running over, Wes, so we know we got to
Okay,
stay.
we can kill the
behind.
recording. I said, we can kill the recording.
Oh yeah, you can stop